Okay, so on the record, in the Geraldo versus Gultierrez matter, case D 530134, present we have Ryan Geraldo, Molly Rosenblum, and Michael Burton. State your bar numbers.
Molly Rosenblum, 8242, guardian ad litem for the minor child.
Okay.
Michael Burton, bar number 14351, attorney for the defendant, Andrea Gutierrez.
Okay, so, and Andrea's outside. We just called because we called the case now because we've had a conference off the record. We're going to start the defendant's case. You're going to put on your case today, right?
That's my intention, yes.
The goal, as I understand, last time we were here was just like, hey, look, we're not going to take that long. We're going to get this done.
So my intention is that since he's already called my client, a lot of the history of the parties has already, I don't need to go back into that.
And then some.
I do fully understand that you know practically everything in this case. So my intention is to focus mostly on the plaintiff today, run through some things that I think are important with him, and do my due diligence, but I don't intend to rehash many things that I know you know.
Like I said, and I know everything and then some. Okay, but we are still missing the piece from the guardian ad litem in terms of her report, and she still hasn't met Elicio. So that's going to happen sometime soon.
I would hope within the next week. I understand that child is still in school, and so that creates some time constraints for my ability to move.
Okay, all right. You'll get it done when you get it done. So then once your report is finished, you'll submit it to my chambers, and then my chambers will make it available to Mr. Geraldo and Mr. Burton, and everybody can go up and read it. And then we'll set another small setting for everybody to come in, and we'll hear from Ms. Rosenblum. With that, Ms. Rosenblum, you can be excused to go down to the other courtroom, and if you want to come back, you're welcome to be here. Otherwise, let's get started. Let's call everybody back in and get rolling. So Ryan's finished his case in chief, so it's your case in chief, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oops.
Yeah, you're not calling it, right?
Oh. I may need to.
What's that?
I may need to.
Okay.
Am I gonna get a chance to?
I have no idea how long it's going to take. That's why I asked if either one of you have to call her that night so she can come in. If you're going to call her, she's going to sit outside.
Yeah, I'd like to reserve.
My note from the day I saw you. I called
Is that your wife? Do you know about your wife?
Yes.
Your wife, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to call the plaintiff, Ryan Geraldo.
Okay, so Ryan, you're coming back up on the stand here.
I kind of just want to make an objection to the 10th production of documents. I was served that, I believe, by email this past Thursday, along with, I believe it was a video recording of the last doctor's appointment with Dr. Alhash that was like January or February.
Okay.
So, I don't got a copy. It says file not supported. I couldn't download it, so I don't know what it is. And then, they just submitted it Thursday, and they've had it for 2 so months.
Okay, they haven't offered it yet, so if anybody offers something that you think is outside the discovery period or that should be objected to, then do it at that time, because I don't know what the 10th production is. I don't know whether it's something you may or may not want to let in. At this point, I don't know what those documents are, so let's address them as they come. Okay? All right. So, what's this going on up here?
I'm eventually intent to play a couple things.
Some of which is what he's talking about?
One of them, yes. We can talk about it now if you'd like.
Pardon me?
Do you want to talk about it now?
Well, was it produced beyond the discovery
Well,
close?
this case has been going on for 2 years, so...
I know, but when was it produced?
We produced it this week,
Okay.
And
I mean, he
as
was
far
there,
as timeliness,
obviously,
he
right?
was there. And as far as timeliness of disclosures, this was dropped off to me yesterday, and I'm
Okay.
sure all of this was available. And he was there.
Not all of it, just a little bit was.
He
so
was
each
there.
of you are doing this.
He was, yes. I mean, when a case is ongoing, I don't think it's, proper to be like, oh, we're past the disclosure deadline in a case, so that kind of incentivizes people to just do whatever they want in a case if you can't use
I'm
something.
not saying that. I'm just trying to make sure that there's nobody's prejudiced, so that they didn't have the opportunity to.
Okay, so
Look
what
at
it is
something.
it's a recording of their visit with a specialist, and as you know, she's with my office through legal aid. He's unrepresented. These people can't afford to have a doctor here, so my client recorded the specialist meeting so that the court has a better insight as to what's
What
going
goes
on.
And I think you talked about that the last time you were here,
Yes, we
that the
did.
recording.
And
yeah.
they acknowledged that it was not allowed.
I don't. Okay, not
That
the
they
doctor.
couldn't do it or whatever. You did not
Hold
get
on,
permission
hold on,
from the
mister.
doctor.
Hold on. When you say not allowed, what do you mean?
You didn't get consent from the doctor. That's for sure.
I don't believe we need consent from the doctor to record it.
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying in terms of it's not allowed. Does the doctor not allow you to record the sessions? Is that what you're saying?
That was said last time because she asked if she can record, and they were like, "No, we can't do that." But now they want to do it. So I mean, it's
We played a video at the last hearing of him at the
Him
doctor's
recording.
office recording.
I know. And I
That
mean,
was in the lobby.
I guess if it's something that the doctor says, "Hey, I don't want you to record," that's one thing. If it's some legality that would prevent her from recording that, that's another. I don't know of any rule that says she can't record
I don't think it's
something in
either.
person. I think you might be referring to potentially maybe telephone calls or something that you might be. I don't know. But in any event, let's go ahead and start. Did you swear him in?
No.
Okay.
Swear in. Raise your hand. Swear in.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Geraldo, can you state your name for the record?
Brian Richard Geraldo.
And you had a previous relationship with the defendant in this case, Andrea,
Yes.
and you have two children together,
Yes.
Alicio and Aliana.
Yes.
Aliana's 15 now.
Yes.
Alicio's 11.
Yes.
And you're currently married,
Yes.
and your wife's name is Nicole.
Yes.
And counting the children with Andrea, you have 5 children total.
Yes, that are mine and a stepson.
Okay, and well, with your wife, you have RJ, right?
Yes.
Victoria, a younger one, right?
And Isaiah. Yes.
Okay, Isaiah, Alicio, and Aliana, right? So that's 5. And then you have a stepson, right? So that's 6.
Yes.
And your stepson, he lives in your home half the time at least, right?
At least yes.
So at that time, that's you, your wife, and 6 children in the house, right? Where are you currently living?
At my grandmother's residence, 624 Campbell Drive, 89107, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Who lives in that home aside from the people we just talked about?
My grandmother, her dogs, and my sister, Raquel Geraldo.
So when all the children are there, there are 8 people in that home.
When all the children are there, me, my wife, my grandmother, and my sister, that's 10 people.
10 people, okay. How many bedrooms are in that home?
5.
5?
5-bedroom house, yes.
Are you aware that the assessor's website says it's 4?
No, I'm not, but I am aware that she built a room downstairs. She added a room to the house
Okay. Are you currently
and a shower and
Are
a
you-
bathroom.
Are you currently employed?
Ma'am,
What do you do?
I'm an operator/laborer for McKinley Excavating.
When did you start that job?
January this year.
What's your work schedule?
40 hours, sometimes overtime. Usually 7 to 3, 3:30.
Monday through Friday?
Friday, sometimes Saturday if there's overtime.
And how much do you make?
Right now, I was hired on $14 an hour.
Do you work only in Las Vegas?
Yes.
Never out of town?
No. Can I get a pen or a pencil, or can I get one from my wife's house? I forgot to bring one.
Brand new pen there, I think. You need a notepad?
No, I got one. Thank you.
Mr. Burton?
Previously, in your case, in chief, you testified that you've paid child support in the past voluntarily, correct?
Yes.
Do we have, Your Honor, the old exhibit books that we left last time up on the witness stand, do you know?
I don't know if they're on the witness. I only have one. I have one defendant's exhibit, and the court has one binder.
Do you have one that looks like this?
They all
I mean, which one? I have one that looks like
where it says
this.
plaintiff's trial exhibits, appendix exhibits 1 through 80. You don't have
Is
that?
it plaintiff's trial exhibit?
It is, yeah.
I don't have one that looks like that. All of mine that I have looks like this.
Okay.
It's handwritten.
I have another one, so maybe
That might be it.
Well, and a second copy looking the same thing, actually. So
Are those plaintiffs?
maybe this one, no.
Yeah, I think mine only looks nice because my office did it.
Are you? You're looking for plaintiffs, right?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. That's not this one.
Oh, no.
I'm looking for something he gave me.
Oh, no, no, no.
No, they all look like
Okay,
that.
can I approach him with this then, Your Honor?
Yeah. I just want to make sure I didn't have anything back here that I should have turned over to you guys.
So, Mr. Geraldo, this is the exhibits that you gave my office, correct? This is appear to be the documents you gave me.
It's just this one. I would say yes.
So do you recognize that document?
I would say yes.
Do you recall in your testimony referencing this document as proof that you paid child support?
One of the.
One of the.
Yeah, I don't know exactly this one here.
What does it say in the upper left-hand corner of that document?
Upper left hand, Department of Treasury Financial Management Service.
So this is from the IRS, correct?
I believe so.
And this is the IRS notifying you that they've intercepted your tax return, right?
Yeah, it's happened many times.
Right.
Yeah, that's
So
not the only.
this is not a willful payment of support, is it?
This one, no.
And what's the date on this document?
6/4/2012.
So it's June 4th, 2012, correct?
Yes.
And that's the mailing date on this letter, but is it possible that you could have gotten notice that your tax return was intercepted prior to getting this letter?
I know I got a notice one time. Yeah, I do.
Like if it's possible, if you filed your return, you called the check on it, you find out you're not getting your return because there's a hold, right?
Once, yes, that happened one time.
So many binders. All right. Mr. Geraldo, you recognize this?
Is that 20? Is that like 2012? Yes.
So this is a complaint for custody that you filed
Yes.
on May 31st, 2012?
Yes. That's what it said.
This would be then a few days before you got that official notice from the IRS that they withheld your tax return, correct?
So it appears to be. Yeah.
Your Honor, I'd like to, so Exhibit PP that I just showed him, I don't think I need to move to admit. It's in the court record. It's his 2012 filing. But since he, in his case in chief, didn't move to admit, I'd like to move to admit his Exhibit 8.
8.
8.
Okay.
I think we have issues.
The clerk's going to make sure that your 8 is the same as her 8.
Okay.
Because we've done some switching out, and he's supplemented and what have you, so we want to make sure that
Mine is nice and tidy because my staff redid it, and so it's very possible things can be
okay.
shoveled.
That's fine.
Yes, that's it.
So we have Exhibit 8 will be admitted.
In that case, in 2012, it was abandoned at some point, right?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd like to. Can I have permission to approach on these exhibits that are his for the same reason? There's just a couple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
And I'm sorry, can I just get clarification? Is it only one page?
It's only one page, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Geraldo, do you remember discussing this exhibit in your testimony?
My testimony?
As proof that you were paying child support? Let me change the question. Is this a letter from your employer notifying you that they are taking money out of your check for child support?
Yes, it is.
So they are notifying you that they're going to garnish your checks for child support?
Yes, it is.
And what is the date on this letter?
June 8, 2015.
So that's not a willful payment of child support either, is it?
No, it is not.
Mr. Geraldo, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
This is your 2015 complaint for custody, isn't it?
Yes.
And this was filed on August 27th, 2015, correct?
That's what it says right there.
And it's about 1 month after you got this letter from your employer about the withholding, correct?
That's what the dates are, yep.
And in this case, you had an attorney, right?
Yes.
So took some time to get an attorney, make an appointment,
Yep.
get some money together maybe. Your Honor, I'd like to move to admit it's his Exhibit 11. It is a single page, actually, it's
think it's
a multiple
Exhibit 11.
page, 2-page letter from his employer, Dre's.
Mm-hmm.
Just to note for the record, there is no 9 or 10 exhibit.
Okay. So it's Plaintiff's Exhibit 11,
11.
which is next in line after 8 in the
Correct.
book. Okay. All right. So 9 or 10 aren't there. You don't have a 9 or 10 in your book, do you?
I don't think they were referenced by anybody. And then, in early 2016, as has been discussed a little bit in this case, your tax return was intercepted again, wasn't it?
Yes, my tax return was withheld 3 times.
And this time it was about $6,500 or $7,000.
Correct.
And that made you mad because you weren't able to see your kids, right?
It made me mad because she told my daughter on the phone that if I made a payment of $400, I can see the children. And then she got my tax return, and I said, "Can I see the children?" And she didn't want to let me after she got the money. That's what made me mad.
So after the tax return was intercepted, you called her and you said, "You got your money, so can I see my kids now?" Correct? That's what
Yes.
you said.
Yes, that is what I said.
And then you left her a voicemail, right?
Possibly,
So you had her phone number during this time.
yes.
And you said on the voicemail, "You got your $7,000, so when can I see my kids?"
That's probably likely.
And you threatened to take her to court.
I don't know. If
And you
it-
had not filed
Let
this
him
case
finish
at
to
that.
answer
Okay.
the
I'm sorry.
question. You threatened to take her to court, and his answer.
Possibly, I don't know exactly if it was at that
Okay.
moment or.
Hold on. Let him.
Mr. Geraldo, I know this case has been going on for a while, but do you remember me taking a deposition of you last year when you came to my office?
Yes, I do.
And do you remember taking an oath like the one you took here today?
Yes, I do.
And do you remember me asking you, did you threaten to take custody, and you replying, I threatened to take her to court?
I don't recall. I don't.
You don't recall that?
No, I don't.
At the time of this voicemail and the tax interception, you had not filed this case, correct?
Yeah. I had filed it before my taxes were intercepted. That is incorrect.
In your deposition last year, do you remember me saying to you, so at the time that the tax return was taken in 2016, you had no court action pending, correct? And you said no?
Yes, that's exactly what I said, but I was mistaken.
But you did eventually file this case, correct? And you had Andrea served in Nevada.
Yep, that's what it was because before.
Answer the question, please.
She
Yep.
went to California and she couldn't be served.
Yes or no,
That's
please.
what happened. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you knew she was in Nevada. You had called, correct? You knew she was in Nevada. You served her here in Nevada. Did you serve her in Nevada?
Mr. Kropopius.
Okay, Mr. Burton.
Mr. Kropopius.
You keep talking over him. I know you want to get the answers out, but you're talking over him every time he
Mr.
answers.
Geraldo, my questions are going to be yes or no, so please try to limit the answers to yes or no. You've had ample opportunity to explain yourself. I'm asking you direct
Oh,
questions.
he's going to be able to redirect after
Clarify.
Yeah, clarify. So remember, if there's something you want to tell us outside of the answer to his question, make a note of it, and then you can tell me on when it's your turn to clarify after the fact. Okay?
I remember asking NJ to do the same thing, and it didn't work out very well. But I know what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, Mr. Burton, but make sure you let him answer the question.
Okay, I understand. So let's go back. You talked about the California thing. You had previously in this case said that she had gone to California for a year, didn't you?
I may have meant that she went, or I didn't see them for a year. She was gone for a year. Whatever. Generally, it was like a year. Yes.
You have stated in this case, in filings, that she was in California for a year, haven't you?
Yeah, I probably got that mixed up. That I didn't see them for a year, or she was in California for a year.
But
Yes.
it turns out she was only in California for about a month. Isn't that true?
No, I believe it was 3. It was 3.
In your testimony, you referenced a Facebook posting that shows that you became aware she came back in October, didn't you?
I believe so.
So you knew she was back in October. And yet, you filed this case in April of the following year, correct?
When she actually got served?
When you filed this case. Your Honor, when was this case filed?
Well, there were 2 actually filed. There was one filed before she left, I believe, or in that time frame, and then this one was filed again thereafter. So this one was in 16. The exact date was, it's coming up, 3/17/2016, and then the other one was filed on 15. But that was the one that they were unable to serve her. She wasn't here. August 27, 2015. So I know about all that history.
Okay, I'm going to move forward. So going forward to May of that year, which is 2016, at some point you picked Alicio up from school, didn't you?
Yes.
And you did this because you wanted to see him, correct?
Absolutely.
And at that time you had no knowledge that he had any bowel issues, right?
No, I did not.
And after you picked him up from school on May 23rd, He didn't see mom again until the July 20th hearing, correct?
Correct.
And you stated that you hadn't seen Alicio for about a year at that point, prior to picking him up?
Correct.
And during the time that you had him for those 2 months, he never spoke to his mom, right?
There were multiple attempts, but no, none were successful.
You tried to call her, right?
Multiple times.
And text her. But she didn't respond.
Multiple times.
In your deposition, you claimed that you had documentation of this. Do you recall that?
Yes.
In the ample documentation you provided to this court, there's no documentation of that at all, is there?
Yes, there is.
Did you present that in your case?
No, I did not, but I can.
When you removed Alicio from school on May 23rd, 2016, the school year wasn't even over yet, was it?
Nope. There was 2 more days left, I believe, of school.
He didn't finish out the school year, did he?
It's the last 2 days.
It was more than 2 days, wasn't it?
Maybe 3. And
Like
that's...
2 weeks?
No.
After the court ordered the temporary visitation in this case in July 2016, a few weeks later you withheld Alicio again, didn't you?
Yep, with Don's permission, yeah. Yeah, I believe I did.
So you withheld him again a few weeks later, and you said you did this because she was not willing to care for your son properly? Is that your position?
That's exactly what it was.
You have... Do you recall a previous court order in this case for mom to have Aliana on Sundays for church?
She was asking if she can take the kids.
I think you're jumping ahead. There's a previous court order in this case that mom is to have Aliana on Sundays for church, isn't there? There was.
Yeah, because I agreed to it. That's right.
And on one occasion, Aliana had misbehaved, and you just didn't allow her to go to church with mom, didn't you? As punishment.
Yes.
And you told mom that church was a privilege, didn't you?
Yes.
Andrea gave Aliana a cell phone at some point, didn't she?
I don't know if it was her or who gave it to her, but she had one. I think
Aliana had a cell phone that you didn't give to her, correct?
at some point I took it away, yep.
And you took that away, right? And you did this because you said it would contain evidence that you plan to use in this case, correct?
Exactly.
But you have not provided any evidence from that phone in this case, have you?
I have to double check. I'm not sure if I turned it in or not. My wife been helping me a lot, so
This
It may or may
phone
not
would be
be.
a mechanism that Aliana could have contact with her mom, isn't it?
yes,
And that phone still hasn't been given back, has it?
no. That's actually, it was her.
There's no
old
question
phone.
pending.
It was her old phone. It was her mom's old phone. That's what it was, and that's why I wanted to keep it.
Well, then I take that as a yes to that it was a phone given by mom.
Possibly.
You typically discipline at home by using timeouts.
Yeah, yeah.
And you make the children stand in a corner sometimes? Sometimes 20 or 30 minutes?
Sometimes longer.
An hour sometimes? But you never spank?
Very, very rarely. Not anymore. It's not. I don't think it's worth it. No.
But you kicked Alicio one time, didn't you?
I pretty much pushed him with my foot. Yes.
You kicked him.
Shoved him with my foot. Yes.
And you left marks on him.
No. And I have the documentation for that.
Objection, there's no
Mr.
question
Geraldo.
pending.
All right. Remember, just take a note.
Early in this case, Aliana was interviewed by Family Mediation Center, correct?
1 second, please.
kind of have to either live with one or the other, Mr. Burton. So if you don't want him to just fill in the blanks while he's answering your questions, he's going to take the time to take a note, because otherwise his counsel would do it.
Within reason, though, I'd like to move forward here.
Well, he's going to stop and take notes every time that he needs to fill in the blanks then, so
All right.
that might actually slow things down a little bit.
My preference is to keep my questions clean, so that's fine. Earlier in this case, Aliana was interviewed by Family Mediation Center, correct?
Yes.
And that interview was at your request, right?
Yes, it was.
And after the report came back, you disciplined her for lying, didn't you?
I don't believe I disciplined her. No, I didn't. I don't think I did. If it was timeout in the corner. But I don't.
Okay, so you did
recall.
make her
I
do a
don't
timeout in the corner after the report came back.
I couldn't be 100% sure if it was for that reason or for another reason.
It was, so it wouldn't be out of line if you had made her do a timeout in the corner after that FMC report. That's sparking some memory with you?
I wouldn't be out of line, no.
Because she was lying, right?
Yes, she lied.
So you discussed this report with her?
And Julia, yep.
Do you, this one's, I know, going to be tough to remember, but do you recall being present in the court here on March 7th, 2017? If we had a court date.
March 7th? Yeah, I believe that was one of them.
Your Honor, the judicial notice that this was a Tuesday.
Okay.
And at this hearing, the issue of school change was brought up at the hearing. Do you remember that?
I'm not 100% positive with the dates, but yeah, it was.
You were at
brought
a
up
hearing
on one.
where the school change was brought up, right?
Yes.
And you're at that hearing, or a hearing around that time, the judge said no school change unless agreed upon, correct?
I believe, yes, she said that.
So after that Tuesday hearing, you withdrew Alicio from John Bass Elementary, didn't you, on that Friday?
Yes, I did.
And you enrolled him at Somerset Academy.
Yes, I did.
And you had previously toured that school with Alicio, correct?
Yes, I did.
And never told Mom about that tour, did you?
Yes, I did.
No. You had only mentioned Somerset for the first time a few weeks prior to enrolling him, didn't you?
No. Numerous times.
Andrea never consented to change schools, did she?
Nope.
But you did it anyway.
Yeah.
And you didn't even tell Andrea that Alicio was at Somerset, did you?
I don't see why I wouldn't have.
Isn't it true that Andrea found out about the school change when she went to John Bass the following Monday to start her exchange and she learned he had been withdrawn?
I'm not positive about that.
Do you have this book up there?
Yeah, what, is it the first or second? The white, yes, white. Yeah, I got it right here.
This would be from previously. Can you see if you have this one? And it has
What
A
exhibit?
through Z. It would be exhibit T.
Oh, the defendant? No, I don't have the defendants.
Does the court have that one?
I have mine. You want to use it? Which
So
one
this
is
would
it?
be defendant's trial exhibits, and it would be A through Z, and then some double letters at the end.
I have the. There's a separate one, double letters, right?
Yeah, there's another small one.
Yeah. Okay, so this one's the one that has P in it. Is that what you're looking for?
This one will do. Can I use it?
Yeah, you can put it up there. That's fine.
Can you please open this to T?
T, you said?
T is in Tom. Are you there? Okay. Do you recognize this document, Mr. Geraldo?
there's a lot of these. So.
Okay, so this is a talking parents message, correct?
Yep.
Between you and Andrea?
Yes.
And the date is, it starts on March 13th, 2017?
Yes.
And can you read the first message that is in line there that is from Andrea?
Where is my son? Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. How dare you withdraw him from school to enroll him in another? How dare you after the judge said not to? Where is Alicia?
And then that's at 3:35 p.m., correct?
Yes.
And then at 4:02, there's another message. Can you read that one? This is also from Andrea.
Where is Elicio? This is my timeshare. Aliana called you and had to leave a message since you were denying the calls. Where is Elicio? This is my timeshare. Let me know where he is so I can come get him.
And then you respond below, correct?
Yes.
Can you go ahead and read your response?
Alicio loves his new school. He loves his teacher and made so many friends. He enjoys the school and said he doesn't want to leave this school. John C. Bass already said Alicio is not zoned for their school and would have to leave their school anyway. I had a deadline with this charter school because they have a lot of kids on waiting lists, and I did not want this opportunity to pass Alicio. He deserves the best in life, and he deserves to have the best education possible. This school will open so many doors for Alicio, and John C. Bass agreed that this is a better opportunity for Alicio. He is here at my house. You are more than welcome to come pick him up from here. If you agree to the school and we have him at school in the morning, I'll let you take the uniform if you agree to have him at school in the morning. The judge never said I could not take him out of his current school.
Okay, so let's go over that a second. So you told her that she could have Alicio on her timeshare if she agreed to the new school, correct?
So it says right there.
Yeah. And you also said the judge never said that you couldn't do this, right?
That's what it says right there.
And you said that John Bass agreed this is a better opportunity, correct?
So right there, that's what I just read.
And then Andrea had to get a court order to get him back in John Bass, didn't she?
Yes, she
And
did.
when she got the court order to return him to John Bass, it was your responsibility. It was your week when that happened, wasn't it?
I don't recall what week it was.
Do you remember if you took him to school the next day?
I don't remember.
Your Honor, before I forget, I would like to go ahead and move to admit Exhibit T, the talking parent message that we just went over.
T?
T is in Tom.
T. Oh. Mr. Burton, can you hold on 1 second? I need to go off the record. I'm going to go off